Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike. It is Monday, the 5th of August. This is your morning setups, and we're waking up to some carnage around the world today. And what's going on here is the Japanese stock market is crashing and it's bringing the rest of the world down with it. This is all taking place because of the quote unquote carry trade. And the carry trade at its very simplest is, if you don't know what it is, it's where investors and funds borrow money where they can get it cheap. And let's remember that the Japanese had made negative interest rates for years and years and very, very cheap lending. They take that money and they invest it into the stock market and other around the world. So what's happening now is Japan has been aggressively raising their rates, and people are getting forced to pay back those loans, and they're having to sell their assets to do it, and that's causing the markets to come in and to crash. Okay, China's another one that tends to do a lot of this, just as an FYI. So we have that hitting us today. We have, on top of that, there's potentially expected the Iran retaliation is expected tonight, although this is really not what's affecting the market here at this point. We do have PMI composite at 9:45. Sorry, ISM services at 10 o'clock. And outside of that, we have Goolsby's going to speak at 8:30, and Mary Daly's going to speak at 5. So we have an interesting day here ahead of us. Let me pull this up for you. I want to show you what this looks like overseas right now real quick. Okay, so as we're sitting here and we're looking at, come on. There we go, that'll work good. Grab it through here. So you can see here, looking overseas markets, Europe's getting pummeled, China's getting hit, but it's really right here, right? These right here are what's just doing all the destruction, okay? So you can see that down over 10%. This is a very ugly, ugly day out there for this. All right, so as we're sitting here today, let's just start off with, you see the ES is getting just absolutely destroyed, down quite a bit. And we've been straight down now for the last couple of days. What we start looking for now is possibly a place to buy or to try some long trades. You're not looking to short down here. And let's be clear, if you're long stock, remember, I'm long some stock from up in here, nothing to do here now. And if you're in high quality stocks, names like Apple and Amazon, AMD, pick your name, you're just going to roll with it. If you're in, really not good stocks, then you might want to consider your options are there, but you're certainly not looking to sell here this far into the hole. You'd rather sell into a bounce or into a lift, not trying to sell down here. We're down quite a bit, all the way down here at 52.01, right? Straight down for the last couple sessions. Nice big down move here. And that's the biggest, most important thing, guys, is do not panic here. Take a deep breath. On the NQ, similar, coming off the lows here a little bit. Crude is getting wrecked. Crude is getting wrecked because the world and the crude traders are worried about a global recession, and a global recession is very bad for oil, so they're dumping their oil positions. Bonds are going up again, not as much as you would think, but up quite a bit here because it's a flight to safety. The United States Treasury is considered to be one of the safest trades out there, so they're flying to safety to put their money into safe places. Gold, not doing much. Bitcoin this morning is getting absolutely hammered because no matter what anybody wants to say, it is not the new gold. It is not a safe haven. It is at this point still a risky investment. So all the way down here. The VIX all the way up here to 4660. This is a massive spike here on the VIX this morning. And, we're at a 52-week high. And here was your spike back during the pandemic, at the start of the pandemic. So you get the idea that there's actually some fear and some panic that settled into this market. This came out of nowhere. We pushed up. I do want to point out the VIX and the VX futures are not aligned, not even close here right now. So keep that in mind. You can see we're already well off the highs on the VIX futures, where the VIX is up there. The VIX has not been trading right for a while. I prefer to trade VXX, honestly, if I'm going to make a trade. See, that is up here and still pushing. Okay. What else we have? HYG, guys, this morning down. We'll see what that looks like. The transports got crushed and getting crushed some more. And the dollar getting absolutely beaten on this morning. Now, dollar getting beat's not a bad thing. It's good for us, but overall, you don't want to weaken too much either. So we'll see how far it goes. But this is all, this will help eventually with the market, but the dollar getting beat up because it's caught up in that carry trade, that handcuff trade that we're talking about. All right, let's go to sentiment. When we look at stocks making highs versus lows, on Friday we had on the NASDAQ 110 make highs and 334 make new lows. Okay, this is a big reversal, quick change here. Things are no longer in our favor when you look at that. When you look here at the S&P 500, plus 92 versus negative, can't quite read that. Get my number up there. Negative 68, still slightly positive there. Put the call, spike deep into the bearish zone. This is a contrary indicator. When this gets very high, usually we look for a smackdown of shorts. So right now it's up and go a lot higher, as you can see. So we'll keep an eye on this. That's going to be a breath here, turned down, leading down on the NASDAQ, and on the New York Stock Exchange just turned down. So a little bit stronger still there. Your advanced decline lines on Friday all rolled over. Notice the small caps coming in extremely hard and the NASDAQ. And your oscillators, we're going to be much lower on the open, but we're negative 77 on the New York Stock Exchange. That is negative side of neutral. On the NASDAQ, you can see much more carnage here, negative 191, slightly oversold. We don't start to look for good signals till we get under 200. We're going to open under 200 easily on the NASDAQ and should be very close to a good signal. So the SPY came down. We put a low in around the 515 area, and we bounced up here already $4 to 519. So what do we do today? Okay, right now 10% correction on the SPY is 508.64. Your 200 days sitting down here at the 500 level. Those are big things to keep an eye on, big numbers to watch. What we have come down, let's see if we can open this up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, open this up a bit. All right, so we're down here into this. Make sure I get it right. 515 level, right? 518. So we're trading into here. You have a gap at 513.20. It's a small one, and then you have a bigger gap at 508.82. Okay, so keep those two in mind. So we count quite a bit. We're pretty extended down here this morning. So first thing to do is see how we react. Patience. I suspect at some point we're going to get a little bit of a bounce as we're just very extended. The 8-day is all the way up here at 543. We are almost, not quite at one point, almost 30 handles off of it. Okay, way outside the Bollinger Band. Again, watch for some type of bounce, see how much of this gap they want to make up to. The low of this candle here is 528.60. That would make sense to go up and try to fill its way up to there, and we'll see what we get today. All right, so nice and easy here. You know, coming into today on the open here, we knew Apple was going to be in trouble. Apple is getting absolutely shellacked here this morning. Apple is currently trading down at the 2001 area, 200 area. So, you know, part of this was Uncle Warren selling half of his stake, and the other part of what's going on here. So right now it's into this 200 area. I like, you know, for a buy today, if it came off that 197.20, I would take a look at it there. That's the area it kind of broke out from. You can see it's also trying to hold this 200 area. That's the other area it broke out from. Watch that. I put my point of control up at 206.79, and if things got really wicked bouncy tonight, I don't think they're going to 212.47 there. All right, I'm going to stick with high quality names here, guys. So get the idea of this, okay? Microsoft beaten up this morning, currently heading down under 390. I have my buy trigger today at 376.94, and my point of control at 384.22. Okay, right now it's both of those. See how they handle it, and my sell trigger all the way up here today at roughly 402. So again, we'll keep an eye and see how this works. Meta, which have been one of the stronger names that I still like, is trading down around 459 here this morning. So we'll use my buy trigger here at 442.47. Note the 200-day is in that area. Right now it's trading roughly at this here, my point of control, 459.40, and then I would put my sell trigger at 477 if we get really frisky today. Again, big ifs, right? Amazon is currently trading down in the 160 level today. Yeah, you know I own this from up in here, so I'm not panicking. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let it sit. I have my point of control today right around this 159.55 area. The bottom area of this range here, 154.95, that's where I would start looking for buys. Currently, we're trading at the 160 level, and I have my sell trigger up here roughly at the 167 area, okay? I'm not expecting a lot, but we'll see. If it needs to get in that gap again, that's at 168.65. Again, levels to watch, key areas to watch this morning on this. What didn't I do here that I wanted to do? NVIDIA this morning is, you know, despite the news there, it's holding a little bit better. Morgan Stanley has removed, is it Morgan Stanley? Citigroup removes them from their 30-day upside catalyst watch. So currently it's trading at the 95.84, which is just filling this gap. That's roughly where I have my buy trigger at this morning. We'll see if it can hold that with my point of control at 101.35. If it really wants to dump, the 200-day can come down here, eventually be in play. Keep in mind the 89 to 90 area here is the next area of support if we cannot hold. So we'll keep an eye on this. The banks have been beaten up pretty good. They're down here. Let the banks watch the banks. They'll tell you they're the ones that are exposed to all these trades. So we'll see how this trades out. JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have been the best. They're both going to be beat up this morning. Keep an eye on those, but JP Morgan 190, 150 is my point of control, and it's still trading above it. So we'll keep an eye on that today to see if that can hold in there. Yeah, outside of that today, guys, my plan is to trade aggressively to these little ups, make some money, get in and get out, and not get in trouble. I'm not looking for a bottom here today. Bottoms will present themselves. You don't try to plan it, but I have said you still start to come up and say, what do I want to buy here? What do I want to own here? What am I going to add here? Also, you can keep an eye on the big pharma names like J&J. They have been a flight to safety in these names. They're down a little bit today. You can watch that one. Pfizer's been stronger, down a little bit today. BMY has been stronger, down a little bit today. But they like to hide in these big names. They also like to hide in commodities. They're all down a little bit today, but these are where they tend to go, is into these. This consumer staples go into these safe haven trades. We'll see how long they last. We have Palantir earnings tonight after the close. Tomorrow morning before the open, we have Uber. Wish you all well. If you need to chat, just hit me up real quick. I always make time for you guys. So if you need to talk, let's talk, and I'll catch you guys live at 9 o'clock.